Coming up on the next episode. Well, good Saturday afternoon to you all, YouTube. I am with you once again here, not at the bench, but in my easy chair. Yes, I am. 12:54 now is the time. As you can see, it is Saturday. What you see before you on the screen, now this is my Dell 7020, Optiplex 7020 that I was given some time ago. And the last thing I had on here, actually one of the last operating systems I put on here was Windows 10, but this one I have put up, I found another hard drive. I always find more hard drives. And I kind of swapped out the Windows 7 hard drive and put this one in and decided to try out the new beta version of MX Linux, which is, you can see there, MX21 Wildflower. I have gotten it to work pretty darn good. It took some time to do, as is common with a lot of beta software. It doesn't always go as well as it should. But I managed to overcome all the little problems, difficulties so far. There are still a few little oddities that have given me some problems, but this is the welcome screen that comes up when you start the, what do you call it? I don't have this automatically come up, though. I've long since been through all this. One of the first things I did on this was to install the NVIDIA driver for MX Linux, and as it turned out, it actually used the correct driver when it detected the hardware, and so I really didn't have to do anything there. So basically, I did install the third-party codecs. You have to do that for MP3s, things like that, when you want to record, just stuff like that. The other things that I did was to get Thunderbird moved over from my previous MX Linux. That's a little complicated. You follow the instructions on the Thunderbird page, website, whatever you want to call it. It doesn't exactly work that way, and I was able to figure that out also, and I'll show you. I'll bring that up, see if I can find it here, but I will bring that up. Now you can see, I think, that this is I think much better looking. Now I am using the XFCE, I think is the desktop I'm using, instead of the Matey that I was using. I have Matey on here, but I actually like this a little bit better, I do believe. So, you know, that's working good. But the thing I like about it is the increased contrast on this one. You can actually read this stuff a lot easier, and anybody with old eyes like me appreciates that, because the increased contrast does make it a little bit easier to see. So, also have Brave running, or I don't have it running, but I have it on here. We'll start that up. But there's what I've got on it so far. I've just got the YouTube. As you can see there, that comes up, and all that stuff works just fine. And, you know, there's been, like I said, there's been some bugs along the way. Now, one of the things I wanted to show on this was Greg was asking me about how he was having some problems getting his intro up and things like that. And I kind of wanted to show him what I did on mine. Alright, I had to redo this part of the video because I messed up some stuff. And this is for Greg. Want to open up Shotcut. And as you can see, the video template here is what I use as far as my intro and my outro. And there's some other files that I use a lot. Let me open that up. You just click that to open it up, and you can see that opens that up. And this is my file that I use for my intro.
Coming up on the next episode.
I just simply fill in the blanks here with whatever I want to say. and that's how I do that. So that makes it a lot easier. And this one here is my outro. And I could add that at the end of the line when I get done. And as far as how I do the copy and the paste thing, now that's kind of a strange thing. Supposedly, if you click down here where it says paste, and I think it's this one here, yeah, paste, it's supposed to put whatever at whatever point, like say the cursor was there, the timeline cursor, and you was up in this area here when you did it. I think it would probably put it up here. I'm not really sure, but anyway, you're supposed to be able to hit the paste, and anything that's there will shift to the right. That's the way it's supposed to work. Now, whether it works that way or not, I don't know. But generally what I do is if I have a place in my video that I want to put something into, I'll take and put that on the top track up here where it doesn't bother anything and just add that up there. And then I'll take where I want to split the video, move everything to the right myself manually because I know it's doing it right then, and then just drop that down into the place. That's how I do it. You can do it any way you want. But again, that's how I do it. I don't really use the paste that much because it never has worked right for me. Like I say, if I was just to use paste on there, it would overwrite the files, and there may be a setting in there somewhere on the settings preferences that allows you to choose whether it overwrites or whether it appends or whatever you want to call it. So that's how you do that. The other thing I have up here, as you can see, is transparent, and that is a piece of text that I've made to add text. If I want to put a piece of text up here, I'll drag this down here like that, and that way it appears here, and I can put anything I want into it. I can edit the text, obviously, if you do that. Go over here to filters, and there's your text. You edit that, and it will appear there. That's really all you have to do there. You may have noticed that thing disappeared. That's a problem with my keyboard. I have a trackpad for the mouse, and sometimes when I do that, it makes everything disappear. I usually do Control Z. That brings it right back. So there you go. That's all you have to do about that. But anyway, that's just a quick one for you, Greg. Like I say, I hope that helps you a little bit. But the biggest thing I think is the making that template for your intro, outro, whatever you want to put in your every video. Put that in your playlist, and that way you've got it there, and it works really good. It does for me. So, all right, back to your other video. So, basically, I'm just trying this out. I still have my other version on the internal hard drive, and I can go over to it and use it as well. I am, again, using Kazam for this screen recording. I can go up here and click on this, and it brings up here in the corner, pause recording, finish recording. I don't want to do that, so we'll just leave that off, and then that's how that works. Again, not much to say. On the Friday video, you guys may have caught a little bit of, I won't say desperation, but frustration, I guess, in my voice. I'm still not, I went through and watched every video from the time that Bob sent the package with those components in it until, well, basically now. And I watched all the pertinent ones, I should say. I knew there were certain ones that I wouldn't have said anything about it or mentioned those. But on the flaps and things like that, that's when I'll talk about getting things. And I did, in fact, on the 6th of, I believe it was 6th of January of this year, I acknowledged getting the package. It was on the porch. And I think even after that, I think on the big, when I first cleaned up my bench in the original DERB room, I put all the stuff into a big box. You guys may recall some of that. And I mentioned it then also that I did find them in that box. Now, the thing that is confusing from there is what I did with them, because I said something about putting in putting some things in with unassembled kits, and I did find something in there that said, and this may be the whole thing that's messed up, because I may have found these packets. The packets said on them AM transmitter components. I think one of them said L2 and C6 or something like that. And I thought maybe that they were from Bob, because they were in Bob's little envelopes that he used, little middle envelopes, the little small ones. And I knew they were him, and I asked him if that could possibly be it. And he said it's possible, but as we discovered, those did not match the components that he would have sent after we examined the kit itself and his packing list from DigiKey. They did not match those devices. So we kind of figured those, and there were only 2 coils and 2 capacitors, the only thing that was in there. So those obviously weren't the ones from what he mailed me, because he said he mailed everything on the packing list from DigiKey, and that was nowhere near that. And plus, there was no box there. He always uses a little JCPL, whatever they are, JCPLC, whatever they are, boxes that the circuit boards come in. And I found 2 or 3 of those, and all of them had, I think, 2019 dates on them, and nothing with this year. So, like I said, still looking for that. I haven't given up, but in the meantime, what I'm planning to do, I'm not going to just totally give up on everything. Although I wanted to, I really did. I said, I'm doing nothing else. I'm tired of this crap. And you guys can see I'm nervously moving that around. I'm going to turn the keyboard off so I can't move it. But I can still move the thing on the keyboard like I'm moving the mouse, and maybe that'll help. But you see the cursor doesn't move. I did make the mouse cursor a little bit bigger on this because it was so small I couldn't see it. But anyway, getting back to that, I did come up with a new plan. Being as I've got that shelf moved in there, and I need to reorganize my storage quite a bit, I've come up with a new plan on doing that. I'm still going to use the noodle boxes, but instead of just putting, as I think I said something about cardboard dividers in there, I'm going to use plastic Ziploc bags, and I've got quite a collection of them already, and then I'm going to buy more when I get groceries. Some of the, I think there's 7 by 7 and there's 10 by 10. We'll get both sizes of those, and those should allow me to put, say, maybe even a half dozen or more small projects in one box, and that will go a long way into decreasing the number of boxes that sit around. Of course, I'll put a legend on the end of the box on what's in there, and that will help a lot. And again, that should decrease the number of boxes. Also on the boxes, I have made an executive decision that I will not be using boxes for larger radios. In other words, in the past, if the radio would barely fit into the box, I use that for the storage on the ones I were working on. But, excuse me, what I've decided to do is the radios are obviously complete with a case and chassis, and instead of putting those in a box, I think what I'm going to do is put them back into the case and set them up on the shelf by themselves. That will give me a good indication of what they are, obviously, from just looking at the radio. And I don't have to go a bunch of different boxes. I've already got a bunch of them in there in the original shop area that are set up that way, and I think that's what I'm going to do in the future going forward. Like the Packard Bell, that will be all put in. Anything that's small components can be going into a plastic bag and just sitting on top of the chassis and slid into it. It should hold it just fine. So that's the plan on that, and basically the only things in those little plastic bags would be knobs or screws or things like that. So that should work better, I think. Now, probably I will limit, again, the items I put into the boxes as small transistor radio type parts, little projects I'm working on, some of Don's projects that only have 2 or 3 different pieces or components, or other stuff like that I can put in there and put at least, I'd say at least 4 things in there. And if I can't do that, then maybe just the whole box for it. But again, that's one of the ways I'm going to reduce my storage area, and I think that should work out rather well, I hope. So I will be working on that probably this weekend, and taking the bags that I do have so far. I've got quite a collection of plastic bags, so those should come in handy to get some of this stuff organized and off of the bench, the new bench that is. And also, while I was sitting here the other day trying to set up Cura for the new version of this, thinking maybe it would work with the newer version and the actual driver for the video card. It did work at first. Now, I was having a problem with this particular screen that you see. I was not able to get the proper resolution. I was only able to get 1024 by 768, which is basically VGA, and that was all I could get. The setup would not allow me to change the resolution, and I believe what the problem was, it was not recognizing the monitor that it's hooked up to. So I got to looking on Google, and Google's your friend when you're trying to set up something like this. And eventually I found somebody said to try to remove the xorg.config file or rename it and let the system reconfigure it. And I did that. When I did that, everything worked out. I got my 1920 by 1080 screen resolution, which is what you see here, and everything is hunky-dory. Now, before I did that, when I had the old 1024 by 768, I had installed Cura, and it worked. And I thought, well, this is good. The new version works, and I don't have to worry about it. But now that I have changed this resolution, I tried the other day, and you'll see what I printed, but I tried to print this, and it did not work. With the same error with the OpenGL, and so apparently that is a snap problem. So what I did was to install the app image again on this version, and I was able to print the item, which I'm going to show you a picture of. You can see this is the end piece that I told you I was going to print, and I have painted it black to match the rest, and it looks pretty good. I'm very happy with it. That will do to basically a placeholder until I can come up with what I want to put in there. And I'm leaning towards the signal tracer right now, but I want to get a better version of the signal tracer done before I go to all the trouble of installing it into the MFP. And we are doing the testing. That was one of the things I was going to do, as I mentioned in my video. I had planned on doing that with the new scope, starting on that, but then I got tied up with this AM transmitter parts, not finding them. So I'm again hoping with the storage thing changing it around when I put the new storage boxes together in the bags, that this will eventually lead to those parts. I guess that was the complicated way of saying all this, but again, that's just what I come up with. So that's the way I'm doing it. So this is gonna pretty much be the Monday morning video. What I want to do now, and I got a request from my generous benefactor to do some videos like this on the new computer, the new operating system, things like that. I told him that I would do maybe one or two, but these are not my most popular videos. Anything on computers, and I understand that not everybody is interested in computers. I know Bill kind of tunes out when I start talking computers and things, but again, I felt kind of obligated to do something along those lines for that, and so I am going to try to incorporate this into some different things of what I'm using, how I'm using the computer, and the benefits of using the computer. Now, one of the other things I wanted to mention really quick was the rendering speed, and with this actually using the NVIDIA driver that's supposed to be installed with this, I wondered if maybe the H.264 codec, the NV encoder codec, would be usable, and sure enough it was. Now, it started out when it was encoding that test video very fast, and I thought, oh, surely it's not working because it's going so fast. But as soon as it hit the 3 video part, it slowed way down and ended up, I think, at 14 minutes and 16 seconds for that same video that the other one with the not the H264, but the lib X264 encoder did, I think, at 11 minutes. So again, not as fast as that one, but it did use that encoder. So again, that was part of the problem. And the only other operating system I could get to use that encoder was Windows 10, and I never actually tried to encode it in that, but I may do that yet. And that may be another upcoming video. So again, I do want to do some of this stuff, but at the same time, I really so much want to get back to the bench and get some stuff going on there. I've got that one Japanese radio, not the new one I bought, but the older one that I told you I'd forgotten about. I want to get that up on the bench and try that out, and I may even do that. I don't know. But and I may include a segment on the bench with this. I haven't decided yet. It's 1:15 in the afternoon. Nothing much going on this Saturday, so again, I may try to get in there and film a little bit on the bench and show you what I want to do with that, and maybe also show you the baggie system like I want to try to do, and we'll go from there. So, all right, I'm going to end this part now, and we'll get back hopefully on the bench and show you some more. So stay tuned. Alright, here I find myself at the bench once more, and over here is one of the things I wanted to show you. Obviously, get that back out of the way a little bit. That's the placeholder there for the that I mentioned in the clapping part of this video. So that's installed and it is working. Now I've thought about, as you can see there's a little bit of a gap there. Thought about putting a little what do you call it over here to pull this out, because this is actually pulled in a little bit from this, I guess. It's not a big deal, but I may put some kind of holder in there that will keep these even and maybe basically looking better. That's nothing, again, that's just a placeholder right now, so it's not even being used. Of course, you know me, I can never ever do anything simply. I went in there to retrieve a box of small radios and the bags that I'm going to use for my bagging system. And wouldn't you know, I had stuck them in there with the bag that was holding all the bags together, or inside, at the wrong end, and the other end was still open, and all of the bags spilled out all over the floor. So you can see, there's my collection of bags. Now obviously all these, this is a Ziploc bag, that's a sandwich style bag there. I could possibly use something like that, but the ones I'm going to get are like 7x7. It's the littlest. I think these are 4 or 5 or 6 at the size. But again, they would work, and they will work. I'll show you when I put these together. But I have a couple 3 radios that I can put in there and show you what I'm talking about. And before I do that, though, I want to show you one more thing over here, and I'm going to try to get these. And I don't know if I mentioned this or not, but this box here has tubes in it. And you can see, I think, that I have a few more tubes than I thought I did. Basically, that whole box there it's either 2 boxes or tubes with tubes in them, I should say. So, I've got to go through those and get those figured out as far as what's good, what's not good, and be able to get some sort of storage or organization to those and get that done as well. Now, get that out of the way. Again, here's the box I thought those parts were in, and I did in fact find the little brown bags, and these are the brown bags I'm talking about that Bob sends me parts in. Get you back a little bit, but you can see AM transmitter. It says Crystal AM transmitter, LM386, L2, C6. Now that would, I'm pretty sure, was the one that we were building. Again, there have been others that we have built similar to that, so I don't know. But it says L2C6. That is not what it is. I mean, it may be what it is, but not for the ones we're looking for. So that's that. So let me get me a couple of these put together, and I'm going to show you with an empty box. Here's another good one that we can use. And you can see Simple AM Plus there. This will go into a small baggie because there's really not that much to it. And that will make, can go into a box, and then, that's just that much more room for other projects. So let me get those put together and we'll bring you back. Alright, so this is what I got in mind for this endeavor. Now, I don't have this box full, obviously, yet, but you can see I do have quite a few radios in here. There's one complete one. That's a larger one. I had to put it in a small or slightly larger bag. It's a Magnavox. And these are in various stages of disassembly or whatever. This is a little bastard. You guys may recall this. It hasn't been that long ago. It's all in one little bag now. All these previously were in their own box. This is the Sangean little IC chip radio that I've been playing around with a little bit. These are decent little radios if you can get them to work, obviously. I mean, if you buy a new one or whatever, they're decent little radios. So there's 3. Now these 2 down here, I'm not going to get them out, but there's 2 down there that are both the same. They're Globe radios. One's red and one's black. One's got the case with it and one's the other one doesn't. This one's the North American radio that I've obviously been working on before. This is the LeSabre radio here. You can see there. So there is again 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 radios that I've gotten in one box that previously again were in several boxes. And like I said, they were all, except for the Globe. I think I did have the Globe radios in one box, but other than that, these are, as you can see, they're, get the air out of that. As you can see, they are, and I've got more, like I said, I've got room for more, and I do have more to put in here. So, again, you can, that'll flatten down. But you can set boxes on top of it also. So there you go. That's one of the ways I'm using and doing that. And I will show you also the projects doing the same thing here in just a second. So come back for that in just a minute. Hi, well this is a box of the projects I'm working on that I had in boxes again. Now this was the biggest part that I couldn't get in there, but that can go in there. I know what they go to. I can just take a look at them and know instantly what they go to. This is the this is the infamous project that I'm looking for parts for. This is the American or Antique Wireless Association AM transmitter. The board's in there. That's the crystal for it. And I think Bob was sending another crystal. The box there, the brown box, is the case it fits in, and all that is there. That's what one thing is. This is Don's projects. Now, these are both AM transmitters. One was the latest, and that part there goes to it. One was the latest proximity type AM transmitter, and the other one's about the same thing, I think. But I've got all that in one bag, and so that's very handy. This is the, let me look at it again. Oh, this is his probe signal tracer kit project, and that's what these long things here are for. They will be made into a probe tip, if you recall that. There's the little microphone amplifier preamp, and there's the Element 386 in the other bag, and so there you go. That's that. So that's that. Simple AM Plus is this, and I've got all this in the bag now. So there you can see I have 1, 2, and I'm going to call this 3 and 4 because there are 2 in there.
And this is 5 different projects in one box now, and plenty of room for more. And so that is a much better way of doing this. And I came up with 4 or 5 more radios to put in the other box, so I've got that about full. And small radios, that is, little transistors. One was the little RCA that I just bought. I'm going to be taking and changing caps and that and things like that. Now, on bigger radios, I think what I'm going to do, give you this for an example. I think I'll put the small parts in the a baggie and store them. So now I can leave it in here. It's not going to be the end of the world to have a waste a box for this, because this actually, there's enough parts laying around where probably would fit this way. I really don't want to put this in a bag, although it is a bad speaker. I've got to get a new speaker for that. But like I said, the knobs and screws and any of the small parts could go into the bag. And so that's that. But for right now, I'm going to leave that like it is. But the rest of these, like again, the Packard Bell was one of them. This radio that I am working on next, hopefully at the bench, the Japanese radio. This is the one I was talking about. This is one I bought I don't know how long ago. I think back in the stimulus times I bought this. This is basically the same as the new one I bought with the twin speakers, AM, FM. It's just a single speaker model though. That's the only difference really. So that's about it. But I'm going to put this back into the chassis, which I have in a box because it barely fits in this box. I'll pull that up and show it to you if I can get it up here without destroying everything. There you go, there's that. And like I say, it's just much easier to put that back into the chassis, or into the cabinet, and keep it together. And then I think you can see all the stuff in there. So that would be the best way to go about that. And then just put the whole thing up on the shelf. And whether it might fit in a box, but it's just easy enough to see what it is, and without having to be in a box. So like I say, that's just the plan so far on what to do, and I think that's going to do me for right now. I think I'm going to go ahead and call this a video. I may do some more looking today, and now that I've started on this organization thing, I may continue on that. I don't know, but I'm liking the way it's going so far, and so that may be what I do. So until I decide one way or the other or whatever. So you guys have a great day. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see ya.